Music is a powerful thing, so powerful that you don't even really need to understand the lyrics that are being sung. It's a universal language, one that is felt more often than it is heard. No matter the genre or structure of composition, music is something that can reach just about anyone. It's a powerful thing because it illustrates emotions and feelings that can't adequately be described any other way. It captures the happiest of times, it captures the darkest, and it captures everything in between. It's an affirmation of life itself in all of its beauty as well as all of its ugliness. In One Piece, and more specifically the story of Brook, music is framed in this way as well. It is meant to symbolize the voices that contribute to songs as they are passed down and spread out all across the seas. The shanty, Binks, represents the joy of people long forgotten, and at the same time it is revived over and over again throughout history. Pirate crews from all over the world belt out and celebrate the lyrics as if to say, "We're here, we exist, we too are experiencing this joyous, unpredictable thing that they sang about long ago." Above all else, the phenomenon of music is about connection. It's something that brings people together, and One Piece acknowledges that too. Whenever we see people singing Binks, it's a communal affair. It's something that multiple characters have nostalgic memories attached to. Just like melodies, harmonies, and arrangements, life is best enjoyed when shared with others. A sea shanty doesn't quite have the same ring to it when there's only one person to sing. In that same way, there's hardly a reason to exist at all without people by your side. At the end of Thriller Bark, there's a reason why Brook's flashback occurs while he's playing the piano. We're seeing his perspective as he relives the experiences embedded within every note, and their vibrations carry so much more than sound. The Rumbar Pirates were a crew that embodied the phrase carpe diem. They lived every day to the fullest. Their captain's only requirement for joining was that you love music, and their sole objective was to make children smile. They were pirates that were rarely seen to be unhappy. They were ruthless and cutthroat, but also friendly and hospitable, so much so that they'd befriend even a small whale. It's no wonder that their anthem is Binks. There are many qualities of this crew's story that are directly reflected in the lyrics, such as, "Day and night, to our delight, the voyage never ends," or "Sing a song, it won't be long before we're casting off." Despite their love for life, the Rumbar Pirates were fully prepared to leave it behind. They were completely aware of how dangerous their journey into the Grand Line was. They knew that, in the blink of an eye, they could die. It was because of this understanding that they were able to find such great enthusiasm in every moment. After all is said and done, you'll end up a skeleton, so spread your tail from dawn till dusk upon these foamy seas. These lyrics were essentially their mantra. That's not to say that they didn't feel sadness, grief, or turmoil. They did, and they struggled a lot, but together they lifted up the spirit of the crew whenever it wavered. They kept each other going. At the start of each day, Brook woke them up with his violin, and every night they sang their hearts out. "Steady men, and never fear. Tomorrow's skies are always clear. So pound your feet and clap your hands till sunny days return." This is what they were all about. They embraced the hardships, always searching for that silver lining. Through all of the crazy obstacles that were thrown their way, the Rumbar Pirates knew that the one constant of their adventure would be one another, and in turn, the music they shared. Eventually though, they learned that all things must come to an end. They lost their captain, and soon every one of them met their demise. With nothing left that they could do, they accepted their fate with open arms. As previously mentioned, they knew very well that one day they'd end up as skeletons. Despite how devastating it was for it to end, they were proud of the way that they lived. They had no regrets, except for one. They still had yet to fulfill the promise to a cherished friend. Laboon was just as much a part of their fellowship as anyone else. Even though he was only an animal, they were able to communicate through music and connect through the shared experience of simply being alive. And so there was no better way to encapsulate their feelings for the little whale than through one last song, which would end up being their final message. Before being able to deliver that message, Brook was forced to sail alone for 50 years with the cold reality of his once precious relationships. Completely isolated, he could do nothing other than entertain himself with bad jokes to keep himself going. But the happiness he felt was hollow, kind of like a skull. The only reason he kept going was to honor his promise to Laboon. More than that, Brook had to remind Laboon that the friendship they had was real. The two of them were stranded, literally and figuratively, both of them living as remnants of something that was no longer as lively as it used to be, something that neither of them knew for certain that they would ever find again. They were essentially in a state of limbo. After suffering such a great loss, it was unclear what exactly was next. Laboon became painted with scars and Brook was nothing but bones, and yet they persisted because the melody of their bond lingered on in their hearts. Years later, when a boy wearing a straw hat formed a merry band of his own, their faith was rewarded. There were probably thousands of pirates that had passed through Reverse Mountain as Laboon waited, but no one showed him the same love that the Rumbar pirates showed him besides Luffy. Most people would see a talking skeleton and run the other direction. Not many would openly invite him onto their crew like Luffy. It wasn't until they met the Straw Hats that Brook and Laboon would remember the wonders of companionship. The friends that they had before had perished, but the essence of what they meant to them was still very much alive. Luffy taught them how to move on by rekindling the fire that had burnt out. In doing so, their grief turned to hope. Nothing lasts in this world. We're born with expiration dates and time is forever marching forward. The same applies to the bonds we form along the way, but that's exactly what makes them meaningful. Not everyone is meant to stay in our lives forever, but the moments we shared with them will. The conversations, the arguments, the tears, and the laughter, all of the memories you hold are timeless. Your relationships may wither away, but they will always be a part of you. In no small part, they help to shape you as a person. Here's one final excerpt from Binks' sake that articulates these ideas in a much more poetic manner. Wave goodbye, but don't you cry. Our memories remain. Our days are but a passing dream, everlasting though they seem. Beneath the moon, we'll meet again. The winds are lullaby. While it's important to honor the past, it is equally, if not more important, to look to the future. Life is a gift, an opportunity to find connection. There will always be new faces to meet, and so you must find room within yourself to let them in. You must be willing to start again, to find new adventures and create new memories. With the right people by your side, the music of your souls will truly be immortal. That is what Brook's character is all about. That is what makes him special. That is what it means to live.